Hello, my loves, and welcome to Cade the Alchemist. And in today's video, we are going to get a message from your inner dark feminine energy, okay? So for centuries, the dark feminine has been feared, demonized, and suppressed, not only in women, but just generally within our collective unconscious. The dark feminine is your inner truth teller, your inner boundary setter, your inner chaos bringer, and the phoenix of rebirth that has always existed within you, whether you are consciously attuned to it or not consciously attuned to it. Okay? So this part of you doesn't beg for permission, but unapologetically knows its worth and shows up within that power. We see the dark feminine in goddesses like Lilith, who refused to be submissive, in Kali, the destroyer of illusions and ego, and in Hecate, the witchy gatekeeper of shadow and transformation. These archetypes have been demonized for literally centuries. And when we disconnect from these essences of ourselves, our inner power becomes distorted. So this reading is a message from that part of yourself, the dark feminine that has been looking to reawaken and come back online within you. So let's get into today's reading. I want you to take a deep breath and center yourself and begin to focus on the 3 piles on the screen. Over here, we have pile number 1. In the middle, we have pile number 2. And over here to the right is pile number 3. And a quick overview of the crystals. We have blue kyanite with the Wisdom of the Oracle tarot deck. Over here we have honey calcite with the circular Rider-Waite. And over here we have silicone carbide with, I think this is called the Light Seers Tarot. So I'll give you a moment to tune in and feel into what pile is meant for you. And I will see you guys in the piles. I will have the timestamps for each of the piles linked in the description box. I love you guys so much. And let's get our divine dark feminine reawakened, y'all. What's up, pile 1? My name is Cade, and welcome to your reading, okay? So if you chose this blue kyanite, this is going to be your reading. If you guys see that I have an earpiece in here, I'm not being fed the messages through this earpiece, I promise, okay? I just have this in to allow for background noise to be blocked out so that I can really channel into the message from your dark divine feminine, because you might hear my guinea pigs and they can be a little bit noisy sometimes. So I'm not being fed information through my earpiece, don't worry. But let's attune to a message from your inner dark feminine energy. So I pulled a couple of cards off camera, and then we're going to shuffle a few from the Wisdom of the Oracle tarot deck. I'm pretty sure that this is called, the one that you guys chose in the pile selection. Okay, so let's get into your cards right off the bat here to see. Okay, so the first thing first is that I have these archetype cards that are going to be letting me know a little bit about the archetype of your inner dark feminine energy and how that shows up for you. Okay, so the first card that we have is the Inner Child Wounded card. awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. Okay. Oh my gosh, and the second card we have is Child Eternal. So I'm getting that y'all are very connected with your inner child, or your inner child is coming through deeply within this dark feminine reading. And this one says, for Child Eternal, determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit. Ability to see things with fresh eyes. Beautiful. And as for an overall message from your dark feminine, we have surrender to the divine, full moon card. Okay. And finally, it's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. So the first thing that I'm being brought to pile one is definitely some sort of a childhood wounding. I keep on dropping this card. The camera cut out suddenly. I feel like your childhood was really cut short in some way. Whether this was that you experienced a lot of losses within your childhood, or I'm getting this sensation of somebody being cut off at the knees. Someone's growth was cut off at the knees, or they had to grow up too fast. But the vibe that I'm getting is that you didn't have a quote-unquote traditional childhood. This could have had something to do with some sort of a mother figure. It doesn't have to, but this is reflecting back where your inner dark feminine is calling forth to you. Something about a reclamation of the power and presence that you had within your childhood. I want to pull some tarot cards and just kind of free flow through this. But with the it's time to release negativity card, and I just saw the Tower as I split the deck, I feel as if there is perhaps some sort of a childhood trauma or a familial dynamic that your dark feminine is calling attention to. Let's see. We have the High Priestess popping out here. This is someone who was always very connected with the divine, with their intuition, with their own creative feminine power, whether you're male or female. And I feel as if in your younger years, there's something about this being expressed through an open heart. The feeling that I'm picking up on is that when you were a child, your higher chakras are very open. Your crown chakra, your third eye, your throat chakra, your heart. And I feel as if you had this magical mysticalness about you, but because of something that happened, I'm getting this feeling like all of that energy was pulled down into the lower chakras to survive. This is really giving me the feeling of within childhood needing to conform or choosing acceptance over authenticity. This feels like religious programming to some people. Growing up in a highly religious household. Your dark feminine is highlighting the impact that has had on the way in which you express your power, your spirituality. What else is coming through for my pile ones? Ooh. There's also this, with, like I was speaking to with your throat chakra. There's almost like this spitfiriness about y'all in your inner dark feminine. It's very unapologetic in the way that it expresses itself, the way that it expresses its creativity, its spirituality. And I feel as if you have this call on your spirit to assist others who were wounded in the same way that you were. So if this is like a childhood wounding, I feel as if you are becoming the parent that you never had, not only for yourself, but for other people. There is an importance here of understanding that your childlike essence may have always been demonized. the wonder that you carry for life. Like I was getting that feeling of getting cut off at the knees. You were taught not to believe in magic. You were taught not to, or you were just taught what to believe in general. But within your divine feminine, there's like a reclamation happening, wherein you're beginning to ask yourself, what is it that I really believe? And I feel intuitively like as you are moving forward and progressing into this new version of self that is connected with your dark feminine and that is reclaiming your inner child's essence. With all of this full moon energy, it feels like the more that you step into your voice, your power, your intuition, that it creates a big ripple in other people's lives, but it's coming through like a tsunami. Because I feel like you kind of go so much against the norms of society, you act as like a pattern interruption to people. People might think that you're kind of strange. And I feel like there have been times in your life that you have expressed your inner child wonder or your creativity or your uniqueness, and people have kind of chastised you for that, or people have looked at you sideways like, who the heck does this person think that they are? And this has led to distortions within your dark feminine where you feel like you have to dull yourself down or be performative in order to be accepted. And like I said, I feel like this does stem back to childhood and perhaps a parent figure making you feel this way, or even I'm being brought to, different bullying dynamics and things like that. But there's something coming through about being unapologetic. So I'm curious to know if there's anything, oh yep, that card flew right out. Anything that's blocking y'all from really attuning to your dark feminine. 7 of Swords. This is literally hiding your power. This is like gatekeeping yourself. Feeling like you can't really be your true self. Feeling like you have to be performative in order to be loved and accepted. Think back to when you were a kid. With all of this inner child energy coming into your archetype, I feel like your life's purpose is very interconnected to that inner child wonder. Think back to the way that you expressed yourself in childhood, the way that you went about connecting with others. What is it that you like to wear? What is it that you liked to do? What kind of music did you like to listen to? I feel like your inner dark feminine is really going to be reconnected with you the more that you reconnect with your inner child. So listening to creating an inner child playlist, dancing around like a kid would, really giving yourself permission to live out the childhood that may have been cut short. And not in a way that's like, oh, I'm just gonna say fuck my life and my responsibilities and just be a kid all day. But it's honoring the child within as opposed to becoming another force that scolds and stifles your inner child like everyone else has. Because I feel like that's what has inadvertently happened, is that you may have had a caregiver who was a little bit stern, or who kind of made you feel like you had to shrink down, or other people did. And then as a byproduct, you ended up subconsciously becoming that for yourself, and subconsciously becoming that blockage for yourself, telling yourself, I can't shine too brightly. Even though this is indoctrinated programming that other people put into your mind, you've kind of accepted that as being truth, but you can overpower the thoughts and limiting beliefs that other people have put upon you. And again, with this Strength card, this is really giving me Leo energy, strong connection to the inner child. It's not childlike to be connected to your inner child. It's not childlike to dance and to laugh and to play. And I feel like those of us who can maintain a connection with that inner child essence within us in a world that has become so serious and so combative and so harsh, I feel like keeping that connection with the child within is really going to help you to reclaim that dark feminine presence, that power within you. Because maybe you were never modeled what the healthy, dark, divine feminine looks like, but you were kind of becoming that for yourself, okay? But I have this guidebook, so I wanted to pull one of these cards to see if there is any specific divine feminine presence around you. And the card that y'all got is Lakshmi, beautiful, the goddess of abundance. And it says here, I choose to feel abundant and wealth is an inside job. Was I not just saying something about you becoming what it is that you have always needed? This is an inside job, 10-10 on the timer. I'm going to read this out of the book. Forgive me if these messages aren't too long. I have limited storage, so I wanted to make sure that we can get through all of these readings. But if y'all want more readings like this, please let me know in the comments any specific, what's the word, guys? Any specific themes that you guys want readings on. Topics is the word I was looking for. I cannot do two things at once, as you can see. Okay, let me find this card. Is this not in alphabetical order? Let me see. Okay, Lakshmi, here we go. The goddess of abundance. I choose to feel abundant and wealth is an inside job. So this may be a feminine presence calling out to you, okay? So Lakshmi personifies the splendor and affluence that arrives when we align our every action with what our soul desires most for us. Exactly. This is like, for 1 week, asking yourself what it is that your inner child is calling for you to do and how you're being called to express yourself and watching how that changes your life, okay? So let me see here. Reverence for the Hindu goddess Lakshmi dates back to the 1st millennium BCE, where she is known as the goddess of wealth, fortune, and prosperity. Okay, so why your soul selects her card. So abundance looks different to each of us. Some people have incalculable material wealth, but are bereft of a sense of purpose or a greater vision for their life, and so are left feeling lost. While others are considered poor in financial wealth, but walk around radiating love and the kind of light that has an intimable worth. Lakshmi is the auspiciousness that begins to bloom in our life when we align our every action with the work our soul has come here to do. That's beautiful. Lakshmi reminds us of the ultimate goal, which is not making money, but being able to know our true bliss, that inner child presence following your bliss, the hero's journey. What makes us feel lit up like a glow stick while we are doing it? Yes, with this Knight of Wands, exactly. What is it that lights you up and brings you life like you felt when you were a kid? Do more of that, okay? What work doesn't feel like work at all? Do more of that. Lakshmi is a wink to find that vocation, that bliss, so that what is within us comes into full bloom through something we can do and show the world. Lakshmi represents both the gold we can hold in our hands and the gold we can become by doing work that feeds our soul. She's a reminder that true abundance doesn't come from our bank statement. It comes from a state of mind we enter when we know we are contributing great worth to the world in the effort of becoming more love. Yes, exactly. Reattuning to that inner sense of love, that heart chakra, that inner child essence. And then begin to ask yourself, when do I feel the most abundant? And you can say to yourself, I choose to feel abundant and wealth is an inside job. That is so beautiful, pile one. I love that for you. Thank you so much to the goddess Lakshmi for coming through today, and thank y'all for tuning in. I want to take a moment to thank you, to thank my spirit team, your spirit team, for collaborating on this reading and bringing it forth to you. I hope that this resonated. Let me know any insights that came through for y'all down in the comments, and feel free to check out one of the other piles too if y'all want to, but I will see you in the next reading. Peace. What's up, pile two? So if you chose this honey calcite and the Rider Waite tarot deck, then this is going to be your reading, a channel message from your dark feminine energy and how you can attune to that energy, reclaim that energy within you. So long story short, y'all, I pulled a couple of cards off camera here, so we'll turn those over in just a moment. We'll shuffle a couple of cards on camera. We will tune in and see what divine feminine presence is surrounding you, what goddess, And yeah, we'll close with the reading like that, okay? So let's tune in. First, I have some archetype cards here that are going to be describing what your dark divine feminine energy looks like, okay? We have a blank card coming out at first. Okay, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued, pile two. Let's see what else we have. We also have the Liberator card that says, freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns. I love that. That with the blank card is very powerful. Okay, let me tune into these other oracle cards that I pulled here first. So it also says here, a new romantic cycle begins, new moon in Libra. I'm also being drawn to the scales, balance, justice. I'm getting heavy Ma'at energy with you guys right off the bat with the Liberator card. And finally, a personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer. So Cancer and Libra energy could be significant for you guys, but it doesn't have to be. Okay. So the feeling that I'm getting from your dark feminine energy with this romantic cycle begins card, I feel as if you guys have had to learn a lot within the realms of love and romance. A lot of your biggest lessons in life you have learned through your relationships. And I feel as if your relationship to your inner dark feminine was actually activated through certain heartbreaks that you went through, whether this be falling outs that happened with family members, between you and different partners that you've had over the years. I feel as if with these issues reaching a conclusion with certain dissolutions that happened or shifting of job dynamics and personal dynamics, that you ended up liberating yourself and liberating your inner dark feminine energy. Because I feel as if there were people who, I'm getting like this tyrannical vibe, people who had like a tyrannical ruling over you or a want to do that, whether this be in relationships. For some of y'all, if you're connected to pile one, this could be from childhood. But the feeling that I'm getting more for you guys is that a lot of people tried to control you and to control how it is that you showed up, to control the way in which you loved, to control the way that you were, to please their liking. And the message from your inner dark feminine is to continue to liberate yourself, because that is going to be a force that can also liberate others. Strong ass energy. Let's pull some tarot. I'm just like, I'm ready to dive in. Okay. We have the Ten of Cups. Anything else? Messages from the dark feminine. Some of these I can't show because they have nudity. I feel as if there is, right off the bat, I'm getting that line from Matilda where her father is looking at her and he says, I'm big and you're little, I'm right and you're wrong, and there's nothing that you can do about it. I feel like you guys had a lot of that in your energy, whether this be different family dynamics. I'm getting job dynamics for some of you guys. Or even just the powers that be. There's something coming through about oppression. Now, this could be oppression that happened to you because of your gender, because of your race, because of your religion. But there's something coming through about oppression here. I'm getting that some of you guys may be within a minority group, or some of you guys may have just felt like the black sheep and very misunderstood in life. And like that line I was getting, I'm big and you're little, I'm right and you're wrong. Like, it seems like the powers that be, society at large, has made you feel that way in a lot of ways, feel very like attacked. And this has led to a very interesting energy within your dark feminine, because I feel like there has been a lot of rage that has been suppressed into your shadow self because of certain injustices that you may have gone through in your life, because of, like I said, your gender, the color of your skin, or the things that you believe. You ended up recognizing a lot of things that quite frankly pissed you off about society, about the way that power dynamics are interwoven, the way that injustices happen in society, right? And for a lot of you guys, it's coming through that you're very, like, with the Liberator card, it came through right away, but I'm getting like a freedom fighter, an activist, someone who stands up for causes. Like, I'm getting the Palestinian crisis. People who, you're somebody who feels very deeply for people who are ostracized by society, for people who are forgotten, because you too have felt that way. And with this blank card, I keep on getting with this, the world is your oyster. Now, I want to understand this phrase, the world is your oyster, because it keeps on coming through with this particular card. So let's see. For some of you, the way that others have treated you in your life has catalyzed such a unique empathy within you that allows for you to speak into things that people don't realize about, that people are kind of ignorant to. And this is very powerful because I feel like you can kind of push on pain points that people don't want to look at. That's the essence that your dark feminine is coming through as. People can look at you like, oh really? Like, they're talking about this again. They're posting about this crisis. This feels like you get a lot of judgment because of the way that you fight for other people, but people don't understand that this roots back into a situation in your life where somebody didn't fight for you, where you had to fight for yourself, where you felt alone and you never wanted other people to feel that way. Even if you're not like from a minority group, maybe you just empathize with that because of the fact that you always felt like a black sheep in your life. But with this blank card, long story short, the feeling that I'm getting is that you're being called to create with this sacred rage, this divine feminine presence, okay? Taking the things that you are dissatisfied by societally and, you know, within your communities or what have you, taking the things that you are dissatisfied by and learning how to channel that into something greater, learning how to create alchemy in that sense, right? Because if you have so much anger towards the systems of oppression that hurt you and the people that have hurt you in your life, it can almost eat you alive holding on to that anger because it's not even yours. It's pain that other people put onto you. It's distortions that other people projected onto you. So the biggest message that I'm picking up from y'all's divine feminine is, what is it that you want to say? How is it that you want to make a difference, even in small ways, right? This is going to really help to liberate that part of yourself that always felt like you had to, you know, hide how you really felt in order to fit in. Or if you have views that kind of go against the grains of society, maybe you can actually be that catalyst that makes somebody view things in a different way, right? Like, the main example that's coming to mind is if you are somebody who has been through oppression or racism, or, you know, as a woman, you have gone through certain things. Maybe you can be the voice that you never got to have for yourself in the past. You can educate others, whether it be through your art, through your poetry, whether it be through your creative expression, just the way that you exist in the world today. There is something that wants to be birthed through you, as you can liberate yourself and simultaneously liberate this creative potential that is lying dormant within you. 111 on the timer. Because there is a lot of creative potential here. I can't make this up. You have a lot that you can offer. But it's kind of removing yourself from the association that you are too much, or deconditioning yourself to the idea that you cannot take up space is the biggest thing that's coming through for y'all, okay? So I also pulled one of these Divine Feminine Oracle cards to see what Divine Feminine presence or goddess is surrounding you at this time. So I'm going to read this from the book to close out. So let's see what goddess you got. So we have Sappho, the poetess. Did I not say something about poetry? And it says, I love every inch of my body and I love the women in my life fiercely. That's also interesting because I was really getting the vibe of, with this pile, that this could be someone who is a woman who felt kind of ostracized by society, or who went through something that dishonored her femininity or her womanhood. 212 on the timer. But you are being called to reclaim that in some way, that divine feminine power, and really saying what it is that you need to say and feeling safe enough in your nervous system to do so, okay? So Sappho, who is she? She embodies the deep love, admiration, and sensuality that exists between women. I really feel like you are being called towards a sisterhood as well, if you are a woman who is viewing this pile, or maybe even just like researching the dark feminine a little bit more, specific goddesses that may be calling to you. 333 on the clock. Okay, when your soul selects her card, instead of exhausting ourselves with the unholy effort of comparing our own bodies to others, or of competing for resources that are actually unlimited, Sappho urges us to do the most revolutionary thing we could ever do: love ourselves and our sisters fiercely. We can't recover her poems, but we can reclaim the enduring spirit she left us. We can become her poetry. We can revel in the pleasure we are capable of feeling, and we can love unapologetically with the full spectrum of our emotional range and from the fathomless depths of our heart. Lift up a woman in your life, help her reach a dream she's been incubating. Take time to indulge with lady loves in your life. Go to the spa, make a dinner, go skinny dipping, or just something outrageous that celebrates the fact that you love each other. Sappho is about the power of loving every inch of the female form. Spend a day flooding your thoughts with positive affirmations about your body or a woman's body. Take a long bath with red rose petals. Do something nourishing that acknowledges your love for the fact that you are a woman, or for the radiant women who are in your life. So ask yourself, is there a woman in my life I can send love to and uplift in this moment? And you can say this affirmation: I love every inch of my body and I love the women in my life fiercely. When I was reading through this, I also felt called to say that if you are someone who has compared yourself to someone else because of their body or the color of your skin, the Sappho card is really calling for you to express unconditional love for the uniqueness that you are, the beauty that you are, okay? Your beauty is the accumulation of thousands of ancestors who had to come together to create you. 144 on the timer, okay? So honor those ancestors, honor those women in your life. If you are a woman, honor your own femininity. And I really feel like y'all are being called to research the divine feminine, the goddess, in whatever way that applies to you. I want for you to feel liberated in how you do so and what goddesses are calling to you. But that does it for this reading, my loves. 212 on the timer. Let me know if you guys want any other readings along the lines of anything dark feminine, goddesses, anything like that. Let me know any recommendations y'all have in the comments down below, because I'm going to leave this one here for today. I love you guys so much. Let me know if this resonated. Feel free to like and subscribe, and until next time, I love you. Hello, pile 3, and if you chose this beautiful silicone carbide crystal, just look at the way that glistens, baby. You can't even. This is going to be your reading, and you chose the, I think this is called the Light Seers Tarot, but anyways, y'all, this is going to be your reading, a message from the dark feminine. I have these little headphones in just to limit distractions, because I do live in an apartment, so sometimes there's background noise, traffic, my guinea pigs. So I'm not like getting messages from the CIA or anything, I promise. But anyways, guys, so let's dive into your reading. So how I laid this out is that I pulled a couple of cards off camera as for the generalized energy of the dark feminine within you. We'll pull a couple of cards as for how you can integrate that into your everyday life and the advice. And then I also have some of these divine feminine oracle cards that I pulled to see what specific feminine energy is around you, what goddess is around you. So we'll dive into that at the end. 111 on the timer, period. Okay, so let's get into it without further ado. First, I have these archetype cards on top, and I promise I haven't peeked. Oh, like, how lame would that be? Okay, so the first card that you guys have for the representation of your dark feminine is the guide card. Oh my god, this is beautiful. Represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. This is giving me Hecate right off the bat, and I have chills for my whole body. Okay. And then we also have Child Divine. Oh, you guys may be linked to pile 1 because they had 2 child cards, but that's only for some of y'all. But this card says innocence, purity, and redemption suggests a spiritual connection with the divine again. So you guys are very connected to spirit, aren't y'all? And I feel like this off the bat is coming through, like, has been since you were a child. Very, very gifted child, connected to the divine. Very empathic child. I'm getting golden child, gifted, getting intuitive. Interesting. Okay, let's see what else. With these moonology cards, we have conclusions are within reach, full moon eclipse. You have eclipse energy also in your dark feminine's energy, huh? Okay. And also finally, a win-win outcome is forecast, full moon in Libra. Okay. I feel as if you are here to break cycles, to break curses, literally generational curses, to rebalance scales. And since you were a child, you have had this mission on your heart and your spirit. A lot of you guys, since you were young, you had this feeling like I have to save the world, or I'm going to save the world, or I'm a hero in some way. I feel like this has been since you were young. You knew that you were meant to guide other people. Because I feel like you were initiated very young. Now, what do I mean by initiation? I didn't even realize the Justice card is also underneath the deck. And it's really giving me as above, so below. I feel like since you were a child, you kind of had this knowingness as to the gravity of your soul's mission and purpose. I'm getting that when you were a kid, you had very vivid dreams. You probably still do. A lot of you guys are like dream walkers. You receive divine guidance within your dreams. Some of you guys are actually, I'm seeing the word divine is really sticking out. A lot of you guys practice divination as well. Witchcraft. That's the vibe that I'm generally picking up from you guys in your divine feminine. It's very witchy, it's very edgy, it's very dark, but not in a negative way. It's very commanding. I feel as if you are somebody who honors and respects the dark feminine and the divine feminine. A lot of you guys already work with certain feminine goddesses, or you're being... So I'm being brought to ancient Egypt. I'm being brought to Greek mythology. Someone who has reverence for the divine feminine, for the dark feminine. And I feel as if the vibe that I'm getting is that your dark feminine energy within you wants to begin to give back to you, because this energy within you sees how freely you have given of this energy to others. Even those who were not worthy and or capable of receiving it, you would give it to them. There's also something here about honoring Mother Gaia and Earth spirits. Some of you guys have indigenous ancestry, and the dark feminine speaks to you. The more that you honor this ancestry, the more that you practice these rituals. For some of you guys. That's not for everyone, but that seemed pretty specific. I'm going to pull into the tarot because I'm very interested to see what message that it is that your dark feminine energy has for you. Let's see. Whoa, this just came flying out. The Queen of Pentacles. I can't make this up. You have a very lush vibe going on with your divine feminine energy, I feel like it's very open to receive. This is somebody who is very much graduated in the sense of their feminine energy. Whether you are male or female, I feel as if you're someone who is very intuitive. You are somebody who honors the feminine form. And because of this, you have accumulated a lot of positive karma from the goddess, is the vibe that it is that I'm picking up on with you guys. It's like the goddess wants to begin to repay you for the reverence that it is that you have paid to the world. Yeah, I'm just getting earth angel vibes with you guys. This is my earth angel pile. This is my light worker pile. This is my witchy pile for sure. Star card here too. For a lot of you, your divine feminine essence is looking to be expressed through guiding others. I almost forgot that I pulled this guide card, but the word that I was getting was guide. I feel as if a lot of you guys have been initiated into your divine feminine, and now the next level of this is beginning to show up within that to be like a beacon of light for other people. I'm seeing this candle. Some of you guys have like a candle business. Somebody has a candle business. Somebody has a witchy business. Maybe some of you guys are also tarot. Some of y'all are, you know, spiritual influencers, YouTubers, TikTokers, something like that. But you are being called to step into this almost leadership energy so that other people can learn from you, because you have a lot to offer. And it doesn't matter if this is on a larger scale or a smaller scale. I just feel like you are like a vessel of the dark feminine, of the divine feminine. Can't make this shit up. Queen of Swords as a cup of that. You are a vessel of this energy, and I feel like you are also an activation. There's been a lot of strange interferences in this reading. So the vibe that it is that I'm getting, pile 3, is that because of the unique divine feminine presence that you have, and because of your ability to lead through that, you are often subject to maybe spiritual attacks or jealousy or projections from other people, because you kind of carry this godlike essence. And I feel like you can be walking karma in people's lives because of the level of mastery that it is that you have reached within yourself. So I'm just curious to know if there's any blockages when it comes to you stepping into this dark feminine energy. Let's see. Yeah, this is definitely the projections of other people trying to keep you bound to a past timeline. I'm feeling like boundaries are coming through strong for y'all, because you have some sort of a mission and a purpose to enact when it comes to sharing this spiritual knowledge or this divine feminine presence in whatever way that is resonant to you. You have a purpose to guide other people out of the darkness because you have walked through it. And with this initiation into the dark feminine, not everyone is going to understand you, and you can't always take everyone with you to the places that you are going to. 111 on the timer. There is this big feeling. I see the 6 of Wands sticking out here. There's this big feeling that there were certain relationships in your life that were almost blocking you from really stepping into this guide version of self, because these people knew you as a different person, right? And a lot of you guys had to go on somewhat of a hermit's journey in order to really get to know yourself and feel comfortable enough to enact this purpose, because there were a lot of people who were kind of like putting little bugs in your ear and trying to make you feel like this isn't what you should be doing. But it was the divine dark feminine goddess within you that has restored your faith again and again in this purpose and in yourself and in the way that you can guide people. 6 of Wands underneath the deck. So even if you haven't seen any quote unquote, I want to say like benefits to the work that you have done, it's coming in. You were meant to be a very unique kind of leader, and not everybody is going to understand that. Maybe everyone, I have the Empress here too. The Emperor and the Empress both coming out in this reading. You are somebody who is really balanced within your divine masculine and feminine energy. And I also feel like you're somebody who's on a journey of divine union. For a lot of you guys, the dark feminine energy within you is prompting you into a deeper understanding of yourself and into this hermit journey to prepare you for the divine union that you are coming into with yourself, with your collective that is meant to be healed by you. I can't make this up. I really can't. but it really feels like a feeling of releasing the imposter syndrome. I cannot make this up. Getting out of your head and realizing how much that it is that you know, how good that you really are, regardless of if everyone understands it or not. You're never going to have anything that you do that everybody's going to agree with, right? Especially when you're on a journey of dark feminine awakening or spirituality. Not everybody's going to get it. But the way in which you're being called to express yourself within that spirituality and purpose is changing, and you're being called to honor that, okay? I can't make this up. The video cut out as I said that, but let's get into this dark feminine oracle card that you guys have before the universe just cuts off my phone completely. So y'all got Kuan Yin. What a powerful feminine presence for you. Okay, the goddess of compassion. I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. Okay, let's see what this card says for you. Kuan Yin represents the presence that listens deeply to our prayers spoken from the heart. She is known as the goddess of mercy and is considered to be the most beloved Buddhist deity. Her name translates in Chinese as the one who perceives the cries of the world. I think that's really beautiful because y'all also have that feminine, compassionate presence within you. And I feel as if that's why you feel called to assist other people on their journey of awakening, because you have such a deep level of compassion as to what other people go through, as to the pain and suffering of others. So when your soul selects her card, Kuan Yin is about the deep medicine that comes simply from being willing to bear witness to someone else's pain. This is exactly what you guys are being initiated into, right? That leadership. To really listen, we have to move from the ego to the soul so that the story we are listening to doesn't become about us or trigger us. This also applies to the moments when we are listening to the story we tell ourselves about who we are. That's what was coming through about this imposter syndrome that you guys have been dealing with. We are often far harsher and less forgiving to ourselves than we would be to someone else. Kuan Yin suggests that we listen simply with curiosity. Curiosity allows us to detach from needing to take the suffering of someone we love personally. Exactly, we can't save them, right? It frees us from feeling as though we have to react to what we hear or defend and explain our part in their suffering, or to explain why we're oddly spiritual. We can just perceive the pain that they are in and the space that they are in. Or we can finally hear our own cries of despair and not seek to judge or justify them. We can just be present to what needs to be heard. Kuan Yin is the powerful energy of giving witness to our own or to someone else's suffering. Often just a calm, abiding presence of compassion is all that is needed to transform that suffering into light. Exactly. By acting as that beacon of light, you are going to help other people to become the alchemist that they need to become in their own life. So what pain or suffering can you listen to now with curiosity? And the affirmation that you can say is, I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. That is so beautiful, pile 3. Thank you to Goddess Kuan Yin for coming through 333 on the timer. Be sure to allow yourself to explore and become curious about this mission, this purpose, and about your compassionate spirit and why you have it. And begin to ask yourself if you have always been drawn to helping others through their suffering, even to your own detriment, because this is a purpose that you have. It's not something that is bad. It's something that needs to be alchemized and translated into something that is productive, right? So begin to ask yourself how you are meant to show up within this purpose, within the world, within your dark feminine. I want to thank Kuan Yin for coming through and your dark feminine energy for presenting itself. This was a lovely reading. I'm really looking forward to you guys leaving some comments, pile 3s, so that I can support what it is that you guys are working on, because I know that it's absolutely beautiful and going to be activating people at a soul level. So thank you for the work that you do, my love. And I guess that's all for now. If you guys have any other reading recommendations, let me know down below in the comments. Let me know how this resonated. Feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.